Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. I'm back, baby. I'm back. Here is my invite link. I am copying, and if you want to just come and chat, it's on the comment section. You can click on the link if you like. If you don't like, then it is what it is, isn't it? Well, I can't make make it. I don't need to really. Don't have to come up. Whatever the case can be, can be. I will try to add it in the description also. So if anybody wants to come up and talk or even want to comment, you can add your comments to the bottom, and I will basically show it for you. Show it for your brothers and sisters, all depending on what people want. Because I'm Batman. Hey, I wanted to just do this brief evaluation on this video. I'm gonna do it in a minute, but let me just get this one out of the way. It's just a lot of mundane tasks I've got to get done, man. And no matter what I get, I better just shut up because no one really wants to hear. No one wants to hear that, brother. Yeah, did anybody see that thing where it's like that Norway Quran burner? My gosh, he's a scumbag. He's a scumbag. He's just a true scumbag. And he's acting like he's a Mother Teresa. It's hilarious. He's like, the shoe's on the other foot, mate. You're burning somebody else's Quran. You're just trying to get attention. Because without that, you would be a nobody, let's be honest. If it wasn't for Islam, you'd just be a nobody. And I think that's the thing with some of these people. They just, like, somehow they gain fame through. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty awful. But anyway, I'm just gonna watch some stuff. What is this video? This is a good one. BBC journalist gets smashed by Elon Musk. My gosh, this made me. I'll tell you, I love this one. I really did like it. Made me laugh. Because I'll tell you what, the BBC have had guys like Jimmy Savile, and he had a job more or less for life until, well, it was for life because after it was only after they died that's when everybody started coming on about him, like, yeah, we all knew. Does that make it okay? You know what I mean? Like, and then they're the people who are like, like dictating what's right and what's wrong. It's like, seriously, it's who made you, the exemplars of society nowadays, especially. Let me just see, did I put the right one? Who the hell is this? Or is it an ad? It's an ad. Yeah, let's watch it.
You don't like to say things you don't like. Otherwise, it's irrelevant. And if at the point at which you lose free speech, it doesn't come back.
I think the issue some people have is that a lot of people were brought back. I mean, some people were brought back who were previously banned for spreading things like QAnon conspiracies. You have people like Andrew Tate who were brought back, who were previously banned for things like hate speech. Do you think you prioritize freedom of speech over misinformation?
Hate speech? Ooh, seriously though, what did he say which was hate speech? Seriously, what did he say which was hate speech? Where's this guy coming from? What did he say?
And hate speech.
Well, who's to say that something is misinformation?
Exactly. Who's to say? Who BBC, the exemplars, to say? Basically, they're the. My gosh. Who are they? Who are they? Don't want to say too much.
Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
I mean, come on. They've had Jimmy Savile on Top of the Pops for years and years until he died, and only after he died, that's when everybody was like, okay, that's fine. Come on, give me a break.
You're literally asking me?
Yes.
Well, no.
Yeah, he's asking you, man. Seriously. I have to say, this guy's a comedian, man, I swear.
You are the arbiter on Twitter because you own Twitter.
Yes, I'm saying who is to say that?
He's trying to put it back on him. And that's what it is. He's like, I don't want to answer these questions because they're too difficult for me. It's above my pay grade. I shouldn't be here. I don't even care. Maybe that's what he's thinking. But, mate, you're in this position. You're getting paid. I don't know what salary. Maybe a huge amount, maybe not. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest with you. And then you're acting like, use something mother superior. It's ridiculous. So let's go.
One person's misinformation is another person's information. At the point at which you say that there is this is misinformation, like who is going to decide that? You accept that
misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real world.
Hold up, right? Twitter, before he bought it, right? They hid what Biden's son about his briefcase incident. Twitter, Facebook, everybody hid it until after the election. Do you know what I mean? That really could have just, if I was out, that would have maybe got, Donald Trump to win. And, he's getting because he's a good guy. Musk's is kind of a good guy. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, I don't know him personally, but it seemed like that way. But he's allowing, people to discuss, voice opinions, put the reality out there, and, make your own judgment in a way. And this guy's like, no, you can't. Whatever happened to free speech in Britain? I guess there was none, was there? Because the BBC basically decides what's free speech and what's not. That's just the reality, it seems.
Harms that it can potentially cause.
So the point I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false.
Yeah. You think? I certainly do.
Do you agree that has occurred?
I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true. In its whatever it is, 100-year history, I'm quite sure.
Yes. Even if you aspire to be accurate, there are times when you will not be.
We've spoken to people very recently who were involved in moderation, and they just say there's not enough people to police this stuff, particularly around hate speech in the company.
What hate speech are you talking about? I mean, you use Twitter,
right?
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
But just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
Personally, my For You, I would see I get more of that kind of content, yeah, personally. But I'm not going to talk to the rest of for the rest of Twitter.
So you
But
see more
personally,
hate speech personally.
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful. What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
don't. You can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that For You feed anymore because I just don't particularly like it.
But you said
a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
my
you said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And
then how did you see that hateful content?
3 or 4 weeks. You could have come out with an answer there.
Content.
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen the For You hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying
I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet. And yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
yeah,
that's a false.
No, what I claimed,
you just lied.
Yes.
What I claimed was there are many organizations that say that kind of information is on the rise. Now, whether it has on my feed or not, I mean, right, and
literally
you can look at something
one.
like the Strategic Dialogue Institute in the UK. They will say that. So
look, people will say all sorts of nonsense. I'm literally asking for a single example, and you can't name one.
Right, and as I already said, I don't use that feed. But
then how would you know that?
I don't think this is getting anywhere.
You literally said
you don't think it's getting anywhere,
and then couldn't name a single example.
Right, and as I said,
that's absurd.
I haven't actually looked at that feed.
Then how would you know this hateful content?
Because I'm saying that's what I saw a few weeks ago. I can't give you an exact example. Let's move on. We only have a certain amount of time. COVID misinformation.
You don't think it's that is so hilarious. But it just like we need to move on because I don't have an answer for you, and you just basically you don't have anything, no substance.
You changed the COVID misinformation.
Has BBC changed its COVID misinformation?
The BBC does not set the rules on Twitter, so I'm asking you.
No, I'm talking about the BBC's misinformation about COVID.
Yeah, that's a huge one. We all know what the reality is, man. They don't want to say it in case you get banned. Even on me on this platform could get in trouble. Supposedly, allegedly. Oops. Oh, that's a nice one, isn't it? Yeah, I'll do it. Whatever. Not even that. Yeah, even that I'll do.
I'm literally asking you about, you changed the labels, the COVID misinformation labels. There used to be a policy, it then disappeared. Why do that?
Well, COVID is no longer an issue. Does the BBC hold itself at all responsible for misinformation regarding masking and side effects of vaccinations? and not reporting on that at all? And what about the fact that the BBC was put under pressure by the British government to change its editorial policy? Are you aware of that?
This is not an interview about the BBC.
Oh, you thought it wasn't?
I see now why you've done Twitter Spaces. I am not a representative of the BBC's editorial policy. I want to make that clear. Let's talk about something else. You want to talk about the BBC?
You too.
All right, let's talk about something else.
You weren't expecting that.
Man, that was fun. That was fun. I think there's a full video. I want to watch that. I want to watch the full video. I'll put it on actually, because to be honest with you, it affects us all, and I'm getting tired of the way society now is becoming with all the cost of living crisis, etc., etc., etc. Just a giant mess. Let's put it on. Let's put it on. We don't give a We don't give a Why did you agree to do anything in life? I agreed to do things because I want to do things.
I don't know. I like spontaneity, and I don't know. There's a lot going on, and it seems like I actually do have a lot of respect for the BBC.
What happened there?
Although sometimes I forget what the BBC stands for, you know. But what is it? Just kidding.
You know what it stands for.
Yes, I do. Yeah. So there's a lot going on. So this might be a good opportunity to answer some questions and, I guess maybe get some feedback too. What should we be doing different? I know the BBC, for example, is not thrilled about being labelled state-affiliated media.
Not exactly. I mean, I was going to get to that later, but let's go for it now. It's officially objected to that term. Do you want to respond to it?
Yeah. So our goal is simply to have, to be as truthful and accurate as possible. So I think we're adjusting the label to be publicly funded, which I think is perhaps not too objectionable. We're trying to be accurate.
I'm not the BBC, but publicly funded is how the BBC describes it.
Okay. So that would be accurate.
Itself.
If we use the same words that the BBC uses to describe itself,
right,
that presumably would be okay. I'm not asking you for a yes or no, since you're not running the BBC per se. But it seems to pass a reasonable.
So you're going to change those labels on the BBC Twitter feed and also NPR's as well?
Yeah.
Right.
Publicly funded. Good. Basically, that's we're trying to be as accurate as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. First of all, I just want to clear something up. Are you sleeping in the office? Here?
I sometimes sleep in the office.
Like
in the library?
5 days a week?
No.
3 days a week?
I'm not here 5 days a week. But there's a library that nobody goes to on the 7th floor, and there's a couch there, and I sleep there sometimes.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna stop. I can't be bothered with this. Anyway, I'm shooting off this. So, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, people. Yes, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Out, over and out. Peace be on you.